Welcome back to my channel, everybody. The Only Murders in the Building episode 8 just dropped. Literally just finished it about 20 minutes ago. I already posted a TikTok on it, so check out my TikTok account where I post all of the theories like that about the episode. But now here we are on YouTube. Let's go. So I just want to say congratulations to everybody who figured out the Westies / Dudnoff mystery that was going on, including myself. We basically got confirmed this episode that yes, Dudnoff was sick. He cared about the Westies, loved them like a family, and so he is the one who planted the idea for them to keep up his appearance of being alive so that they can continue living as a family together in the West Tower at the Arconia. I will say that I was surprised that Helga was actually a real person. I thought there was more of a mystery behind that, but apparently not. It was just a heartfelt thing that he did not want to make her relive her dad's death, essentially. So I feel like the Westies and the Dudnoff was a big red herring that we can finally put to rest for the most part. I'm gonna say 99% of it is pretty wrapped up. There might be a little bit of it here and there that's gonna go into our main mystery, which is still who killed Saz. At the end of episode 8, we obviously find out that Saz had a protege stuntman who was none other than Glenn Stubbins. This is where things get really interesting and where one door closes for the Westies and Dudnoff and another door opens for a bunch of these other theories. I did say that I believe that Saz wrote the script for the movie and that Marshall somehow stole it. And if you recall, in a couple episodes ago, Glenn Stubbins saw Marshall and recognized him, and we all were kind of like, what is that about? So now I think that they definitely knew each other and they could potentially even be in cahoots with each other in this whole thing. Maybe they plotted it together. Maybe Marshall and Glenn stole the script together for various reasons. Now, why, right? Why? Okay, this is a crazy theory, and I know other people believe in it as well. We're going to go back to Ben. We're going to back to Ben Glenroy. So Glenn Stubbins has this thing where he always mentions rats, or he sees rats and he freaks out, right? Well, at season 3, Ben was almost murdered twice. Well, he was almost murdered once and then killed the second time. The first time was an attempt by Donna with rat poisoning, and it didn't fully kill him. So I just feel like there's always been some kind of tie with Glenn and these rats, and then Ben with the rat poison. What if after Ben was poisoned, he called Glenn to tap in, his stunt double to tap in, because he was afraid someone was going to kill him, which we knew he was afraid someone was out to get him. So that would mean that the real Glenn Stubbins was pushed down the elevator shaft, and that Ben Glenroy is still alive and is now pretending to be his stunt double. It's like a whole thing. It's wild. But the other thing too is they are identical. It's not like Saz and Charles where they have similar features and this whatnot. They are identical. There could be a theory as well that maybe they're twin brothers. I don't know. But if Ben is really Glenn and Ben is alive, Ben did not like Charles. But maybe Ben and Glenn were so close that maybe Glenn also doesn't like Charles. Remember we saw the bottle scene where he hit Charles on the forehead with a real bottle. Like maybe that was meant to be a thing. And when the crew were doing the photo shoot on set, who was shot at? The Olivers. Originally we thought maybe it was Oliver at being the target. But now I'm thinking that it wasn't, and I think that it was actually Glenn who was the target, who did get shot, who did end up in the hospital, who is in a coma. I think that there's two ways I can think about this going, of who shot Glenn and why. One, I think it could be Jan, potentially. Especially if Saz was already talking about how this stunt double might be the death of her. Jan could have figured things out. Again, she came back for a reason, and I don't think we've seen the last of her. So Jan could be figuring it out and wanted to take him out because she believes that he took Saz out. The other thing is, if it wasn't Jan, what if it was Marshall? Because again, if they were in cahoots together on this project, what if one of them was getting worried that the other was going to spill, or saying threatening things about spilling the beans, and so they took it into their own hands, aka Marshall, to get rid of him so that he could keep his secret about writing the script, because I still don't believe that he wrote the script. I'm not 100% convinced that Glenn or Ben or whoever it was killed Saz just because of the message that Helga gave us that Saz said he's gonna be the death of me. I just feel like that's such a giveaway where, you know, it makes us go, oh yeah, they did it. Like, so I'm not 100% convinced, and I want to know your theories. And I also want to comment down below if you think it's Glenn or you think it's Ben, because I truly don't know right now. That's wild. But we know that this whole season has been about doubles, triples, illusions, stuntmen. So I don't even know. Anything's possible. I will say, going back, if you watched my last YouTube video, going back to my name theory, check out my last video to understand it because it's a lot to explain. Saz Pataki, like I said last time, has 10 letters. Ben Glenroy has 10 letters. So if it was and is Ben, and he did want to kill maybe Charles or Saz, whatever, it lines up in the theory of the name theory. If it's Ben Glenroy. Again, but I'm not convinced. I'm not fully convinced that they're the ones that actually killed Saz. So we'll see. But that would be using her Saz Pataki instead of Sarah Pataki, which is her government name, we assume. So yeah, this show is crazy. We're literally at the tail end. And I just want to know how it's going to wrap up. And I definitely think 100% this season's going to end on a cliffhanger leading into the bigger picture of season 5 of the bigger mastermind behind a bunch of things going on through the seasons, and we're gonna have so many plot holes be filled in. I'm so excited for that. But yeah, again, this episode we did get a lot of answers, especially with the Westies and Dude Nah storyline. But I feel like it was, you know, I don't know. I feel like it was a little mild. It was good, but I just feel like then that means that next episode is gonna be batshit crazy, because I feel like this show does really well at like a balancing out of like, oh my god, that's insane, versus okay, we got more info. Oh my god, you know what I mean? So yeah, let me know your theories below. Let me know what you think. Again, even if, you know, Saz was talking about Glenn Stubbins, her stuntman, being her protege, so maybe they had a great relationship, and maybe when he became dangerous was because maybe it wasn't Glenn anymore and it was Ben. I don't know. So yeah, I guess we're just gonna have to wait. But like this video, comment your theories below. I really need to know the majority of people if it's Ben or Glenn, and subscribe to my channel for more fandom lifestyle and shit. Yeah.